Hello all! Nowadays, most of you people choose Canada for doing your high studies. But you may be having doubts regarding which course to be chosen, which college or university to be chosen. So, we are here with the FAQs of Canada Student Visa.
What is a study permit?
Study permit. It's a document issued by the Canadian Immigration Authority that serves as permission for foreign students to study in Canada. International students cannot study in Canada without getting a valid study permit.
How will we get study permit?
In order to get a study permit, you are required to carry the letter of introduction along with all the specified documents to Canada. At the airport, you would meet with an immigration officer. There, you have to present the passport and the letter of introduction to the Border Control Agency officer, who would then validate the same, and if found adequate, he will be issuing you with the study permit.
What are the eligibility criteria for Canada student visa?
There are certain criteria in order to get a student visa. First of all, you have been accepted by a designated learning institute. Then, you need to prove that you have adequate funds to pay your tuition fee and living expenses. And you need to prove that you have a clean background and no criminal record. Here, the aspirants need to produce a poly certificate to prove this. Then, you need to do a health checkup and produce a medical certificate that certifies that you are in a good health. Also, at the time of the visa interview, you need to convince the visa officer that you will leave Canada once you complete your studies.
Which documents are required for Canadian visa?
You should apply for the student visa after you get the college acceptance letter. You should begin with the visa process around June if aiming at the September intake. The following are the documents needed to apply for the Canada study visa. First of all, a passport. Next, a proof of acceptance by the designated learning institution. Proof of funds. Passport size photographs. Immigration medical examination. English language proficiency exam score. Statement of purpose and a credit card. First of all, passport. Here, you would need a valid passport to be able to apply for a study permit. As of the Canadian High Commission, it is important that you have a passport whose validity covers the intended stay in Canada. For instance, if you plan to travel to Canada in September 2019 for a 2-year course, your passport should be valid until at least September 2021. Next one, proof of acceptance, which is by a designated learning institution. Here, you would need the acceptance letter from the university or institute you are planning to attend. A designated learning institute is a university which is recognized by the immigration department. Here is a website link to refer the same. And in case you are applying for Quebec, you would also need a FAQ which you would be duly notified. Next one, proof of funds. At the time of application for your study permit, you have to show your proof of funds. As per the present standards, you would have to prove that you would have enough funds to pay your tuition fees as well as taking care of your living expenses. The Canadian immigration deems a student would require at least 10,000 Canadian dollar for every year of your stay. Apart from the above two, the student will also have to prove that he or she has enough funds for a return fare as well. Next one, passport size photograph. If you have opted for offline application, you will need 2 passport size photographs that conform to the given standards. For online application, you must procure a digital copy of the photograph which should not be more than 4 MB. Other requirements are standard about neutral, facial expression, plain background as well as no headgear unless for religious purposes. Size of the image should be at least 35 x 45 mm and the image should be recent, that is not older than 6 months. Next one, immigration medical examination, that is IME. Canadian immigration requires international students for India to undergo a compulsory immigration medical examination from empaneled doctors. Students would have to book an appointment and visit the listed doctors for a medical examination, preferably a week before they start their visa application. This is to give the doctor enough time to validate and upload the necessary documents. Booking an appointment in advance with the nearest facility or practitioner as per the list of empaneled doctors is always advised. The panel physician will perform a complete medical exam and may refer you for chest x-rays and laboratory tests. Once your exam has been completed, the physician will send the results to the CIC. Next one, English Language Proficiency Exam Score. Though not mandatory to have at the time of application, we strongly recommend that you have appeared for and get your English Language Proficiency Score before you start your visa application process. As it is, you would have had to submit your English Language Proficiency Score to confirm your admission to the Canadian University, which is TOEFL, IELTS, etc. are acceptable. Next, Statement of Purpose, which is the SOP. When applying for a Canadian study permit, you would be required to submit an essay stating that purpose of your trip to Canada and why you have chosen the particular institution. This would be prompted as an optional document in the checklist, but we strongly recommend that you submit the same. Last one, credit card. In case you are making an online application, you also require a credit card to pay the application fee. The visa application fee for Canada is $160 Canadian. Please remember that the system only accepts credit cards and not debit cards. Also, it is not necessary that it is your credit card. You can use your parents' card as well, provided you have the explicit permission to do so. Apart from the above, if you apply online, you would need access to a digital scanner. However, if you are applying offline, you should have true copies of all the above mentioned documents. It is important to note that while applying online, you would be required to download a few documents, fill them, print them, sign them, and then upload them. Accordingly, the availability of the scanner must be arranged. The system also allows you to upload a good quality digital image. We, however, recommend a scanner to a camera.
How to apply for a Canadian visa for study?
There are several steps to apply for a visa. Here, check the processing times. The visa application cycle might take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. It is advisable to go to the Canadian Consulate website to know the approximate time taken to process the student visa. Please note that the time shown is not a guarantee and is just an estimate. Here, you have to determine how you will apply. There are two ways for this. First one, to apply online, you must have access to a scanner or camera to create electronic copies of your documents for uploading and have a valid credit card for payment. You will still be required to provide a finger scan at the regional visa application center. Remember, in case of online application, you need to visit the VFS offices to hand your passports and would have to provide the confirmation of form and fee payment as well. The steps would only vary in terms of documents you need to carry to the VAC. Next one, apply in person. Here, you have to download the application kit and read the instruction guide. The instruction guide contains important information about study permits and instructions to help you complete your application. Read the guide carefully and use the document checklist. Fill out the given website and attach it with your application form. You need this form to get the assistance of VFS services for your visa filing process. Pay the processing fee is the next. Note that when submitting an application via the VFS, in person or by mail, visa fees must be paid in addition to the VFS Global Service charges. The processing fee is non-refundable in all cases. If your spouse or common law partner or your children are accompanying you and you are applying for a temporary resident visa, work visa or a study permit for them, then you will need to pay the appropriate processing fees for them also. Submit your application and supporting documents. hereafter. You have to visit the nearest VFS office for this. Once you are there, pay the service charges and hand them your complete application to obtain a receipt. This receipt contains your unique tracking number, which you will need to track the progress of your application online.
How much is Canada student visa fee?
A study permit for Canada costs $150 Canadian, which is roughly equivalent to 8,370 INR, as shared on the CRC website, as per the current exchange rate. Since the exchange rate keeps changing, we would advise you to check the same at the time of your visa application. Canadian visa applications are available both online and offline. As such, the visa processing fees can be made both online by means of a credit card or offline by means of a demand draft if paying at the High Commission of Canada or by cash at the VAC. This fee must be paid when the application is submitted or a fee receipt of online payment provided. The demand draft required is to be drawn out in favor of High Commission of Canada in Indian rupees. VACs accept only cash payments. Also, the visa fee mentioned does not include VAC service charges. You would have to pay the additional service charge as applicable for your region. Also, a receipt will be issued for each payment received. Please keep the receipt as proof of your payment. Post submission of your visa application, students need to submit a biometric fee of $85 Canadian. Candidates need to submit this fee in addition to the regular visa fee. After this, your biometrics will be taken at a visa application center.
What is the processing time for Canada student visa?
Processing time is the time taken by the CIC for processing a visa application. It starts when the aspirant files the application until the final decision date. As such, there is no specific time period mentioned for processing a Canada study visa application. Aspirants, both online and paper, can view the status of the applications through their MyCIC account.
How to renew study permit?
For staying in Canada, students need to have a valid study permit. If in case your study permit expires before completion of your studies or program, that you need to apply for a renewal of study permit. Ideally, you should apply at least 30 days before your current permit expires. Candidates can submit their application through mail or via online.
How many bands are required to study in Canada?
For an undergraduate degree, the Canadian High Commission requires 6 bands in the IELTS exam with no band less than 5.5. Also, for the postgraduate degree, candidates require overall 6.5 bands with no band less than 6.
How many backlogs are allowed for Canada student visa?
Some universities in Canada accept a maximum of 5 backlogs, with a condition that candidates must have scored a minimum of 70% in the undergraduate degree. Apart from this, for postgraduate degree programs, some universities accept a maximum of 7 or 8 backlogs if the candidate has scored 6.5% or above in the undergraduate program.
What are the requirements for taking admission in a Canadian institution?
Each institution in Canada has its own policy regarding admission requirements for international students. The entry criteria may vary according to the programs as well. The minimum percentage required for community colleges are 55 and above in the previous educational qualification, and for universities it is 60% and above. Besides, an English proficiency score is also required. The websites of the institutions may also be checked to get the exact requirements.
Which study field can be opted in Canada?
You will get varied options in the technical and professional fields including business, agriculture and agri-food, health, social services, broadcasting and journalism, hospitality and tourism, design technology, sciences, information technology, engineering, environment, languages and arts, etc.
How much does it cost for study in Canada?
Studying in Canada can be relatively cheaper as Canada offers low tuition rates for international students as compared to the US, the UK and the Australia. The average cost of study, including tuition and living cost, is 25,000 Canadian dollar per year.
What type of accommodation will be available for students?
Here, you can opt for an on-campus housing ranging from shared condominiums to dormitory-style housing or just to live off-campus. The cost of on-campus housing may or may not include a meal plan or other utilities such as phone and internet connection, etc. Accommodation prices may be lower off campus, but you will have to bear the extra cost of furnishings, water, electricity, or other miscellaneous expenses.
Is there any scholarship offered to international students in Canada?
The eligibility for scholarships for international students aspiring to study in Canada is judged on the basis of outstanding academic grades and exceptional English proficiency scores. Scholarships are mostly offered by the universities without any particular application based on the eligibility benchmarks, but at some institutions the students need to apply for the same.
Can international students work while studying in Canada?
International students can work while studying in Canada if they have a valid study permit and a social insurance number. The students can work part-time for 20 hours a week during term time and 40 hours, that is full-time, during vacations. Besides, many of the institutions in Canada offer paid internships as part of the course, wherein the students get the opportunity to work full-time in industry relating to their area of study.
Is there any internship opportunities in Canada?
Some programs in Canada do include work experience as part of their curriculum. You may apply for a co-op or intern work permit if you have a valid study permit or working is a significant part of your study program in Canada, or a letter from your school confirms that all students in your program must complete work placements to get their degree, or your co-op or internship is 50% or less of the total program of the study.
When do we need to apply for a work permit?
You need to apply for a work permit only if your acceptance letter confirms that a co-op or internship placement is part of your program's curriculum. In such a case, the work permit will be processed as part of the application and the student will be issued SW visa.
Can students work in Canada after graduation?
If you graduate from a designated learning institution, then you can gain valuable Canadian work experience under the Postgraduation Work Permit program. Normally, a work permit visa is granted for 1 year on a study of 1 year. For a study of at least 2 years or more years, the student can get post-study work visa of up to 3 more years.
Can international students apply for permanent residence?
The permanent resident visa is determined on a point-based system. The work experience gained through the PGWPP will help you to garner valuable points to qualify for permanent residency in Canada.
What are the conditions for a Canadian study permit?
There are certain terms and conditions attached to a Canadian study permit. You must respect these conditions in order to retain all the benefits of your study experience. It is as follows. You must be enrolled at the designated learning institution. You must be enrolled as a part-time student or a full-time student if studying in Quebec. You must not take any authorized leaves longer than 150 days from your program of study.
How to study in Canada for free?
There are plenty of scholarship opportunities for international students who want to study in Canada. The opportunities available to you will depend on your field of study or research and your country of origin.
Do I need to take the IELTS to study in Canada?
To study at a Canadian school, you will need to be proficient in English or in French. Canadian post-secondary schools set their own conditions for language skills of international students. Language skill requirements vary from one school to the next. While preparing your application, you should research the specific requirements for your program. Some schools even allow you to complete English courses after you begin your studies. Some international students do not need to provide proof of their language skills. If you are from an English-speaking country or have studied in English, then you may not have to take the IELTS.
Which Canadian university is right for me?
Canada has a selection of post-secondary institutions of different sizes and specialities. Here is a list of 5 of the country's most recognized schools and a description of each to help to get you started. University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, McGill University, Université de Montréal, McMaster University. So let me explain one by one. First one, University of Toronto. The University of Toronto is likely one of the Canadian schools you have already heard of. International students choose University of Toronto for its academic excellence and vibrant campus life, 20,000 of them to be exact. It is also located in the downtown core of the world's most diverse city. Next one, University of British Columbia. UBC is North America's most international university. 30% of UBC students' population is international. 16,188 students from 156 countries. Located on Canada's beautiful west coast, the university is part of BC Vancouver. UBC is an excellent choice for those interested in living in a city while still having access to nature. Living in Vancouver means easy access to the beautiful outdoors, including forest, ocean and mountains. Next one, McGill University. McGill has an international reputation for excellence. It's no wonder it has a population of more than 12,000 international students. Although it is in the French province of Quebec, McGill is an English university. The city of Montreal is known as one of the best cities to live in as a student. The cost of living is low and it is home to a vibrant artistic and cultural scene. Next one, Université de Montréal. UDM is one of the Canada's highest ranking universities and a great option for those interested in studying in France, located in the city of Montreal. UDM and its affiliate schools serve 9,500 international students each year. Next one, McMaster University. McMaster is one of the world's top 100 universities. Located in Hamilton, Ontario, the university is only an hour drive from Toronto. Hamilton is experiencing a significant job boom in the tech sector. This is great news for those interested in working during or after their studies.
Can I bring my family with me while I study?
Of course you can. International students who are married or have kids may wish to bring their family with them. Canadian visa offices will consider study permit applications which include accompanying family members. You should know that including family members on a study permit application may influence the visa officer's decision. If you are approved as a family, your spouse will be able to work full-time while in Canada. Any accompanying children will be able to study for free. So, hope you all are very clear with the most frequently asked questions about the Canada student visa. Now, I'm thanking you all for watching the video and we'll be back soon with another question answer section.